the TMA boundary at Mohale, 11,000 feet, just descending slowly through 11,000 feet, navigating around the cloud.
It's the most challenging flying that I've ever had to do, had to accomplish, you know, on a day-to-day basis. But I've also, like you've experienced, so much safer, you know, flying in this environment with MAF because of the training and the standards that we maintain. Good morning, Ndati 7 Papa Charlie Mike Charlie, ready to taxi flight to Seminanyani with 2 crews, 0 passengers aboard, and 3 hours, 30 minutes fuel endurance, 115.
Good evening, 101, takes line up, 04,
Okay, I think it said QNH 1019er, I'll taxi line up 04, advise next ready for departure, Charlie Mike Charlie.
Charlie Mike Charlie, QNH 1020, reporting advance.
QNH 1020, TMA on next, Charlie Mike Charlie. I've been here now since 2009, so 12 years. What I think of mostly is like the people, you know? The people in the clinics, the patients, everyone that were, you know, flying. You develop, you know, relationships and friendships with, you know, especially the nurses and staff that we fly a lot. You know, some of them I've gotten to know pretty well over the years. I looked at the satellite, just scattered clouds in the mountains. Kind of what I experienced yesterday. I mean, I got over at 115, and then I had to, like right after the Mahalang Valley, I had to descend back under because the tops on the other side were encroaching. But then I was under at, you know, 10.5, so it was fine. And I'm still at 9.5. I feel like I'm higher. Let's go around. Let's maybe wait till we get to 115. I don't want to have to out-climb something that's going to swallow me up.
Master approach Lima Delta Foxtrot 24, good morning.
Simple Master, your call, sir?
Lima Delta Foxtrot 24, good morning.
Lima Delta Foxtrot 24, Master, good morning. Charlie Mike Charlie, your position altitude?
Yeah, madam, Charlie Mike Charlie is at the TMA boundary at Mohale,
11,000 feet, just descending slowly through 11,000 feet, navigating around the clouds.
Okay, now we're good. I think we're at 10.5 now. I might have to get underneath these clouds here. Head back to Seminanyani. Yeah, we should be able to fly under now. Yeah, that was getting a little exciting for a moment, but all good. Bottom and top windsock looks like it's light and variable. Bottom windsock might have a few knots, maybe 3 to 5. It's pretty much a quartering tailwind like we would expect. Let's see if it works. Good, some work on the runway. Those workers look like they're exiting now. Hope they grab their tools. My abort point is the ridge. If I'm not on a stable approach, plus or minus 5 knots, or if my ground speed reads more than 80, I will abort. Maybe 5 to 7 knots up here. What I can see on my ground speed. This ridge line can get pretty turbulent, even with a little bit of wind. Pretty stable. I'm able to hold some airspeed here. There's some bumps. Okay, there it is. Yep. A little bumpy off that ridge there. 82, not quite there. '77, 76, crosswind, 76, 78, 77, stable. 78, committed. Yeah, that was touchy, eh? I saw 85 right at the end. I came in, I was like 77, 78 right at that ridge. And then I took one last look at my ground speed, which I probably shouldn't have. right before, like probably 50 feet above touchdown, and I saw 85, and I was like, oh, I better plant this.
Yeah, well, that was an exciting approach. It was, I'm not going to lie, it was, you know, only a couple knots from our, you know, limitation on the wind. And if you're watching the video closely, you could probably tell that I was, you know, I was a little nervous. You know, as long as I've been doing this, still, when you're faced with an approach that, you know, you only have 2 knots of margin before you have to, you know, go around or abort the landing. It was an exciting approach. It's quite easy, you know, when we come in here and there's no wind at all. Approaches are very smooth, and those approaches are easy. It's also easy when you know, we come overhead and there's lots of wind, or when you turn final and you realize, oh, I'm going, you know, my ground speed's 84, 85 knots. There's no way I'm going to land. So you just get out of there early. But you know, that approach in particular, you know, with just kind of hanging on there at 77 and 78 knots, it was a challenge. What I think happened was after the ridge line, I think maybe instinctively I just let the nose kind of drop a little bit, you know, because I wanted to land on my spot. But after passing that high terrain, I probably just instinctively allowed my nose to fall a little bit, which increased the airspeed slightly. I was past my committed point, so there was no going around at that point. I just had to land and get stopped. Well, coming out here, you notice that I we were just able to sneak above the tops. There were definitely a number of spots where the tops were outgrowing our maximum altitude, getting over them. So what I'm anticipating on the way back is that the tops will be too high for us to fly over the clouds. So we're probably going to have to stay under the clouds, and we'll just have to see. My hope is that the clouds will be above the ridge lines, and we'll be able to cross over into the lowlands from the mountains. So
If I don't have a speed check, I should be seeing 35 knots, probably by the end of those cornfields there. Power check by windsock 1 here, and after my 4.8 airborne engine failure, 6Gs glide at our weight now is going to be 1330, so glide at 68. Grass immediately to the left in the river valley. Find a field next to the river or a field on top of this ridge if we're high enough. Gas ox pump on, switch tanks, and red ox if it catches, climb to safe altitude. If not, get mayday. Gas ox pump off, fuel selector off, flaps down as needed. Master switch off before touchdown, get out. Mark to break off. Time now 8:50. Zulu. Wind mostly crosswind, about 5 knots now. Be good for takeoff. And cargo doors are closed, and we're all set. Power. Speed. Continue. Center traffic, 7 Papa Charlie, Mike Charlie, 9,700 feet from 7092 Massera Bird's Nest. like, I think now what I've learned over the last, you know, probably my last 6, 7, 8 years here is that, you know, for me, like, being able, like, a stable approach is more important than the wind speed. I've given up many approaches where the wind parameters have been acceptable, but the stability isn't good, and I've had to give it up. So I've learned that stability is more like stability on approach, especially when it has to do with the winds and the gusts. That's much more important to me than just you know, you can't land with more than 7 knots here. I had another experience at Manamaneng where I was actually with an intern that had come to visit MAF from Letourneau, and he watched me do 4 approaches into Manamaneng, 2 from either direction. And every time I was coming in downhill or uphill, I was getting a tailwind on approach. It was just this weird thing. And I did 4 approaches because I could hardly believe it was happening. I was like, no way, this can't be right. Looks like we got, I can see, you know, Blue Mountain Pass here is open. All these, the clouds are on top of the ridges here, but I'm just gonna sneak through the Bokong here, and I think I'm just gonna get into the Mahaling River Valley, just around the north of Tabaputswa, and then probably get out Bushman Pass. Just for kicks, I'm going to get into terrain mode here. Probably just across the ridge. Slow down as quickly as we can. Reflector. Oh, look at that waterfall down there. That's amazing. Altitude's gonna be about 8,000 feet. Flaps are set, we're 80-20. Descending a little bit. Heading for Bushman's Pass right here. Cow flaps should be more open. Now that adds some power. I'm actually just going to go through this way. House to my left, I can still turn to the left. Looks pretty clear straight ahead. House to my left, I'm still okay to the left, 8,000 feet. House to my left.
Number of 24, to be boundary out at 11,500 feet.
24 broadcast 122.8, report inbound.
1228, report inbound next, number of 24.
Getting ready to cross the ridge. Clear terrain behind, clear terrain in front of me, out to my front now. Okay, turn radius no longer an issue, so let's put the flaps up.
From Azerbaijan to Lesotho, to boundary out 11,500 feet, any traffic?
Morning, Adam. 7 Papa Charlie Mike Charlie. Just through Bushman's Pass at 7,000 feet, 7 Inyani to Nasera Bird's Nest. 2 crews, 0 packs, and 2 hours 40 fuel.